video. All right, we're good. Here goes, everybody. You'll like this intro today, Brian. You'll enjoy this.
Oh, good. Can't wait.
Starts in 3, 2, 1.
No, this is the first I've heard of it. I'm crestfallen. Save. What's happening? I didn't know any of this. I'm not a business person. You're speaking. Whatever you say is Greek to me. But all these, the mountains of Produttore and I don't know. It'll all work out, I'm sure. Good luck. I'll figure it out.
Lies, deception. Their milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard. This is the morning stream.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is TMS, the morning stream for August 29th, 2019. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbett. Good morning.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. Hey, quick shout out.
One of the mountains of Brian. Brian like slips into like a heavy egg.
I don't know what he's talking about.
It'll all work itself out. It's fine.
You got a little Vince Gilligan in your.
A little Vince Gilligan now.
A little bit. Just a little in there. It's fine. Little Vince Gilligan never hurt anybody.
Did I do a little whistle in my voice there?
Yeah, you got to give that. And now you got
and
now
nice
James Stewart
julep on the front porch.
Yeah, James Stewart coming back. I like it.
They're all coming together.
Yep.
It's all one. It's all really one accent or one impersonation.
Ken Kratz, he's on his way. Don't worry, he'll be here.
Yeah.
Real quick here, a shout out to our Floridian friends and anyone in the way of this nasty ass hurricane that seems awful early for the season, but let's see if we can get an update on that. Hurricane, what is it, Montuba or John Jojo? What is it? Marion Barry.
Florence? Not Florence. What's
Florence and the Machine? One? I don't know.
Dorian, thank you.
Dorian. Fruit. It's like the fruit. I was thinking of the fruit. The Dorian, the stinky
The fruit's
fruit.
Durian, yeah.
Yeah.
Close enough, though. Mm-hmm. They both stink.
Let's see. Hurricane Dorian expected to reach Category 4, and it looks like it's... You know what we may do? Tomorrow on PM, if we can swindle it, we'll get Hunts the Wind on here and give us a little update on what's going on.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Speaking of people who'll be on today,
if we can wrest them away from Classic, holy cow.
Yeah, right? He is all up in that. Everyone is on my friends list.
Yep.
I was in there for about 3 hours yesterday. No, the day before. I told you this yesterday, I guess. And I still don't. I don't know where I stand. I don't think I can. I mean, I'm heartened to how excited everybody is and how the community's freaking out. And it's a big positive thing right now for Blizzard. And they've had kind of a rough year, so it's nice to have some positivity. But I don't think I can go all the way, dude. I can't do that.
Oh, yeah, no. I can't do it. I have downloaded it and I've installed it. And I have not yet hooked up with Tatsumi to get the name he has reserved. Like last night we were going to do instead of Raid we decided to do Classic, or they decided to do Classic. It's like, all right, cool, I'm going to go up and finish watching that episode of Orange is the New Black that I started with Tina.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, no desire to get back into Classic.
People are either driven to do it or they aren't, and that's okay.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. It's good to have all these options and stuff that's available to us.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do. I see it as a net positive, but it's not going to be for everybody. And I think you and I are in the boat of probably not for us for now. Anyway,
for sure. Yeah.
Anyway, maybe we'll do that. And speaking of people who are going to be on the show a little bit here in a bit, we'll have Gidget on. It's the 4th Thursday of the month. That means time for some trivia from Down Under. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Technically, Scott, it's the 5th Thursday of the month, but it's the last Thursday.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's not 4th, is it? This is a long month.
The 1st was a Thursday, so it's like, we had 5 Thursdays this month.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, well, yes, so that'll be good.
For those who get paid on Friday, you had 3 paychecks this month.
Oh, my gosh. Think of that.
Tomorrow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so how did it go with Grandma? I can't sleep until I know. Did everything move out okay? And is she all right?
Yeah, so she basically the kind of backstory is that she is currently at one assisted living facility. She's not happy there. We're not happy with the treatment she's getting there. I mean, she had last time she came back from the hospital, she had this wound on her leg, and come to find out, they were supposed to be at this facility. They were supposed to be changing her bandage.
Yeah.
They had not changed it for 3 weeks before we finally realized that they weren't changing her bandage. And we saw this thing, and I won't even tell you what was going on underneath the bandage that the hospital put on.
Not cool.
Like, okay, not good.
Yeah, that's not
There's
good.
a little bit of dementia going on there, so it's not like she can be relied upon to manage it herself. So we're moving her out of that facility into another one. We've got to get a room ready at the new place. And so basically it was getting, we had a new bed for the place she's in right now came furnished. She calls it the hellhole, but the hellhole came furnished.
Oh.
And
why'd she call it the hellhole? She just not.
She just doesn't like it. Yeah, she says it's a hellhole. She wants to be home.
Gotcha.
She I don't know how much she realizes that she just can't go back home and be on her own because it's unsafe. It's a split level house.
Yeah.
She's gonna fall down the stairs, you know.
You don't want to go
Set
over
the
there.
place on fire.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of triggered this was partially a stroke that happened a year and a half ago, and also that at one point my mom went over there, kind of a surprise visit, and she was cooking something on the stove, and right next to the burner that had the pan on it, there was a stack of mail, paper, letters and stuff just sitting next to the burner. It was like, okay, yeah, this is not safe.
Oh yeah, that. I only like to think about that.
I know, exactly. So the process is getting stuff together at the new place, and I get day before yesterday, so Tuesday, I get a little question from my uncle and my mom. Hey, can you help us move some stuff into my grandmother's new assisted living room? Like, oh yeah, not a problem. Replying via text. Oh sure, not a problem. Hey, can you borrow your next door neighbor's truck, because I think we're gonna have some big stuff to get. It's like, all right, sure. I love having a day's notice to borrow my neighbor's truck, but he was nice enough to say sure, no problem.
Right.
So they say, okay, come, swing by your mom's house. We're going to pick some stuff up there that she got, and then we're going to take it down to the other assisted living place. I show up there, and lo and behold, nobody's there.
Oh no.
Like, okay, what's going on? I call my mom. Oh no, we're already down. We were able to fit everything in George's car. Like, great. So I have this truck. I don't need to haul anything down, so I'm just going to meet you down at the place and probably help load stuff in. Great.
Just Dave's truck, by the way. It's Dave's.
This is Dave's truck.
Okay.
This is Crazy Neighbor's truck.
All
Which
right.
this thing it's a what is it? A Ram, a Dodge Ram 150
F-150
or 1500, which is huge.
Yeah, it's a big truck.
I'm not used to driving a big old truck.
Me either. I don't
feel
like
like
it. I feel uncomfortable. Can't do it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a tank, and it's like, I don't know how, when I have to park somewhere, I park further out in the lot where I can kind of go further into a space and not have a car in front of me, because I know I'm going to overlap either the back end or the front end of the truck out into traffic or whatever. So
is his truck just full of bongs and porn? Like, what's his truck like?
No.
Okay.
No, that's all at home. He does all that at home.
Oh, okay.
No bongs in the truck.
No. Okay, good.
Altoids and lollipops that he's gotten from the Chase bank drive-through.
He lets those accumulate for a rainy day.
Those accumulate for whatever. Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
All right.
So I get down there, we load stuff in, and that's when my mom decides, oh, you know what? We need that yellow recliner from her old house. We're getting her house ready to be sold. And so we've got stuff just about completely cleared out of there, but there are a couple things. And my mom wanted this recliner, this yellow chair, this flowery printed yellow chair. But now she's decided that she wants that here at the new assisted living place. So, well, maybe you could go and pick that up and then bring it back. Oh, okay. So all of a sudden now this is like drive back down to the other end of town.
Oh gosh.
Grab that, bring it back to the assisted living place, because I feel like I'm the only one in the family who actually thinks more than a day ahead on things.
Totally, dude. I think you might be. You're the one you're the one in my immediate family that does it, and you're not even in my immediate family.
I do. I may think, several steps ahead. I don't always act several steps ahead. Like, there's been stuff with this America's Next Top Podcaster. It's like, oh yeah, I need to do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
But then it's like, all right, let me let everybody know their schedule 3 weeks before we start instead of a month and a half before we start.
Right. Sure. Stuff like that happens. I get it. But I
But
still
at least
think,
it's not the day before we start.
Right. Yeah, you're thinking ahead, and that's good.
I'm
Nothing
thinking
wrong with
something
that.
ahead. So anyway, I went and picked that up, picked up a chest of drawers, brought that down, installed it. We got the room all set up for her. She's going to be moving in like Friday or Saturday, and it's just fun going to an assisted living place. And like you've got a cart that you're wheeling around that's got some furniture on it, and you round this corner, and there's a guy looking at you, elderly resident, and he's looking at you like, okay, who's going first? We're like, oh no, you come on through. Okay, thanks. And then it's like glacial moving around this corner to where we can finally get the cart moved around it. Like, okay, I'm moving. And I was like, oh man, we just put him on the cart and wheel him wherever he needs to go. But
I like that idea better.
Elderly people are the best.
They're pretty great. I mean, it was one of those facilities that we walked and knocked on the door, and the guy my grandma was dating showed up with no pants on. So
Pantsless.
yeah, pantsless with a shirtless old lady that was not my grandmother. Boy, the drama that happened after that. It's good stuff.
I can imagine. Holy cow.
I can't wait
Wow.
till I'm 1,000 years old and I'm just the
I
worst.
know. Someday we're going to be in one of these places probably, and it seems like it's a million years from now, but it's
Right. It seems like the last
I don't wanna
place.
think about it.
It seems like the last place forgot about the assisted part. Like
They really did,
change
yeah.
the dressing on
Barely-
her thing. She's old. Do it. Fix it.
barely considering the living part. They do the forget the assisted.
Freaking
This is
dumbasses.
a new place, man. We walked by the dining room. The food looks really good. There's a dining room on each floor. There are 3 floors to this place, or maybe it's just on the second and third floor. And the view from the dining room, it's like you get the mountains and everything. It's beautiful, overlooking the city. It's like, I almost want to bosom buddies myself into like an elderly outfit, like Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari, and
I like it.
and like pretend I'm old so I can live there.
Sure.
The food.
Yeah. The Bosom Buddies 2. We're old now, or
That's
however
right.
it would go. Sure.
Exactly. Surprised that that's a movie or that's a show that has not been rebooted. In some
Yeah,
form.
I think so too. It seems like one that would probably, or at the very least, like, why hasn't Tom Hanks on one of his SNL hosting gigs shown up with Peter Scolari for a little one-off sketch or something?
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. No kidding.
Now that they're older, like, wouldn't it be funny to sort of address that now? And I don't know why.
Thinking about that, he doesn't really do a lot of that on SNL. Like it's all new properties or new character sketches. He doesn't do like, one of the guy from Castaway was the guy from was Captain Phillips.
Yeah, why don't they do? You'd think they would. It's such iconic career moments like Forrest Gump and Castaway and all that stuff. Why aren't more of those things? Splash, whatever. Like,
right.
they're just falling out of my brain now. But all the old Tom Hanks stuff, none of it ever gets parodied, and I don't know why. Never got that.
Huh.
But he hosts all the time.
Yeah.
He's always hosting.
Hosts all the time. I think it's because he lives close. He's like John Goodman and Alec Baldwin. He lives, or at least has a place in New York, a place nearby. And so when Miley Cyrus drops out, they can say, John Goodman, we need you. Come on
Yeah.
in. You're a new host.
They're
or,
just up the road. It's just so dumb.
Exactly.
Anyway, SNL.
Rainbow Bright says that a reboot of Bosom Buddies would be considered insensitive. I don't know if it would necessarily, right? Like an old,
I think it'd be okay.
like a couple pretending to be women, a couple of guys pretending to be women.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
If they don't, like be obnoxious about, I don't know, sexist comments about what it's like being a woman.
Yeah, they could still.
Is that the thing? Would there be too much?
Well, I don't
reliant on
know.
that?
There was white chicks, and there was like,
The
there's
hot
others.
girl or whatever it is with Rob Schneider. And,
Right. I'm not saying any of these things are good. I'm just saying it can be done. It can be done.
That's true.
It can be done.
Some Like It Hot with Jack Lemmon and
Let's go way back. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I got to play this.
Trivial things.
It's Trivial Things with Gidget Von LaRue.
trivial things.
Hi, Gidget.
Hi.
Hi.
Did we catch you in Mid drink, mid.
Mid durry.
Oh, what's a mid durry? What's a durry? I don't know what that is.
A durry was sort of brought up during, I think, World War II mostly, for Australians going out for a cigarette.
Oh,
Gotcha.
oh, so if you were in the war and you were
drag.
like, I'm gonna go out for a quick durry, that meant you were gonna go get a smoke. That's interesting. Never heard of that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we all learned something today. I feel like I learned something.
And it looks like it's mostly roll your own too. Like durries are not just regular cigarettes, but according to this dictionary, especially a roll your own.
Oh, is it?
They probably were in World War II, but when I come on to podcast, I always have my glass of wine and a packet of durries
Nice.
ready to go. Because I know Scott hates smoking.
I don't hate it. I just don't do it. And I
Do
also
it.
don't
Yeah.
like being next to it. Like if I'm sitting somewhere and someone's
I
blowing
don't
smoke.
blame you.
Yeah, that's all.
My partner doesn't smoke or drink.
Yeah.
So it's exactly like you, Scott. He doesn't indulge in anything unless it's something super naughty. But it's one of those things that I only do it occasionally. I don't do it all the time because when I was in Vegas with you guys, a pack of cigarettes was like $8 or $6 or something. In Australia, it's $32 to $35.
Jeez.
Holy cow! For a pack of or a carton, a pack.
Just a pack.
I thought
and we've got
was
these
high. Oh my gosh.
warning things
Wow.
on there. And that's not the worst one. There's a
jeez.
dead guy on one of them.
Wow. So hold on
Is
a
that
second.
right
That's
right on the label of the
that's
cigarette.
awesome because
Yeah,
we have pretty hardcore labels, but they don't look like that. We don't have like a big eyeball that says, "Hey, you're gonna die."
I
Wow.
can't believe anybody.
We've got dead babies on the packets. We've got a dead guy.
Wow.
They're just and you can't when you go to buy them, you can't. They have to hide them now, so they're not allowed to show them. So the poor people selling them have just got to like tussle. But yeah,
no
it's
kidding.
too expensive to be a habit now. So most of the people roll their own. So yeah, it's going back to being
crazy.
called durries.
I'm amazed that anybody smokes in Australia. Like it seems like there's so much on there as a deterrent.
I know.
Like the price and the photos of dead people.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Wow.
it's a bit like prohibition in America. I think they're all going black market. So rather than like, there's heaps of Mexican drug cartels trying to get drugs in Australia because we pay the most for them.
Sure.
So now they're trying to get cigarettes in Australia and sell them underground. So the minute you push anything illegal underground, people will find a way because they like it. It's the prohibition,
exactly.
you know, the speakeasies and stuff. People will find a way. If they like it, they'll find a way to get it.
Is vaping a thing down under?
Not as big as America.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's huge
that
here.
surprised
Yeah.
me. When I was in Vegas, the amount of people vaping because that's got a lot more smoke, like not smoke, but
Output.
you know, output.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So that really surprised me. But yeah, I've not encountered anybody in Australia vaping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like you're walking through a box of Captain Crunch.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to that stereotype that Aussies are like tougher than us because they want the real cancer-causing agents, not some fake freaking pen.
Right.
Not some
exactly.
fancy pen. They want to fight cancer on their own terms.
The real stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, we got the real war.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm excited to have you here because we're gonna have some trivia time. Did I win last time? I did, didn't I? I
You
won.
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you did.
Brian needs some
But
revenge.
this is 80s music this time, so I think Brian might stand.
Oh, he's gonna
We'll see. Yeah.
probably gonna kill me. Is my thinking. He's gonna whoop my arse. That's how you say it down there. Arse,
see.
right? You say arse. Anyway,
Arse.
so why don't you
They spell it ASS and we spell it ARSE.
ARSE?
Arse,
Yeah, get
yeah.
off your arse and
Yeah.
do the thing.
Arse.
So let's dive in. Do you want to just go for it and start doing this? How do we pick who goes first and all of that? What are the rules here?
All right, so I've actually put your names next to each question because I tried to make them as even as possible.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So Brian is going first this time.
Okay.
All right. And I'm hiding the chat room right now. Officially.
Yeah. I'm
Goodbye,
covering
chat
it
room.
as well. Goodbye, chat. It was nice knowing you for
Bye,
the next
chat.
20 minutes or so. Bye.
Well, you don't have to hide the chat, Gidget, but Scott and I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. No, I love the chat. They're awesome and they give me really good feedback. So
good.
love you guys.
Wonderful.
Okay, number one, Brian. Who had the hit song "When the Going Gets Tough"?
When the going gets tough. This is from the it's from the follow-up to Romancing the Stone. I believe that was Billy Ocean. I can't remember that. Well, Jewel of the Nile was the film.
Jewel of the Nile. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Billy Ocean.
Good job. Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, when you get it right, you'll
Double
hear this.
whammy.
And if you get it wrong, you hear this. So we have our buzzers today. Well done,
That's
Brian.
not
Out
one
of the
Billy
gate.
Ocean's, not one of Billy Ocean's 4 #1 hits that had exactly 8 words.
Right. Did he get out of my car and get into my thing or whatever it was? Did that? What was the-
Get out of my
Caribbean
dream.
Oh,
Queen.
dreams.
Caribbean Queen, No More Love on the Run.
Suddenly?
is another one.
No more
Nope.
love
Yeah.
on the
Nope,
run.
that's more than 8 words. I mean, less than 8 words.
Yeah.
There'll be sad songs to make you cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of my
And-
butt and into my car.
Whoa.
Oh no, get out of my dream. And into
Get out of my dreams.
Get out of my
I can't think of
butt.
the 4th one. He had 4, but that's 3 of the 4 that had exactly 8 words.
Basically 5 songs that he's known for. So well done.
Right, exactly.
It's all right,
Yeah.
chat room. Scott's not showing me because I'm smoking.
Yeah. Oh, I can show you. Here.
it's against Twitch terms of service.
Oh, it
Okay,
actually
so-
is,
Yeah,
isn't
exactly,
it? I think
yeah.
it is.
That's all right,
Oh,
I'll
it-
stop.
is it
I'll
really?
stop. I'll stop.
I think
I'll-
legit.
interesting.
Now that you mention that, I
Yeah,
didn't
I
think
even
about
showed
it.
the packet.
Yeah.
There
I
you
think
go.
it's like legit against terms of service.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
I was joking when I said
I
that.
forgot. I'm not 100% sure on that. Somebody could clarify, but I think that's true. Anyway.
No, I'll stop. I'll stop.
You're
All
all-
right.
you're all
So
good.
Scott.
Yeah.
All right. Who sang "The Heat Is On" from the 1984 movie Beverly Hills Cop?
The heat is on. The heat is on. Hold on. Oh my gosh, dude. This is going to be harder than I thought.
I started off easy too.
Is it
Yeah, you
the heat is on?
Would that make a difference, Scott?
yes, it does. It does. It's no, I know this.
Find it.
It was
Find
on,
it.
they
Do it.
had Miami Vice a couple of times.
Uh-huh.
He was an Eagle. Hold on.
He was.
Yes. He's not with us anymore.
Glenn Fry.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh,
Very good.
Gee.
Yes.
This is gonna
Tick.
take it out of me, man.
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just go with it. You'll be
All right.
fine.
All right.
Okay, so well done. Yep.
Very
Founding
good.
member of the Eagles, Take It Easy, Tequila Sunrise, Lion Eyes, New Kid in Town, Heartache Tonight. Some people are just so talented.
Yeah.
He
All right,
really
so-
was.
Brian. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. You know, death sucks, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
death is
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. All right, Brian.
Yeah.
Which country is home to Berlin, the performers of the love song from the 1986
Oh, yeah.
film Top Gun, Take My Breath Away?
Sure. All right. So
But-
Berlin.
While Brian thinks this real quick, this concert series Brian I was telling you about where Tiffany's playing.
Yeah.
They played.
Yeah.
They played here like a month ago. Freaking Berlin.
Oh, Berlin did
Yeah, of all the
That's
bands
cool. With-
of the '80s.
with
Berlin.
Terry Nunn.
I didn't go, so I'm
Oh,
not
yeah. I
sure.
guess it would have to be. I don't think you could do. Berlin without Terry Nunn is like ELO without Jeff Lynne. Terry Nunn, man, had
All
such
right.
a crush on her. Berlin, I believe, is from America. I don't think there's any foreignness. There's certainly no
What?
Germanness to Berlin.
Correct. You are correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
A new wave band from Orange County, California.
Nice.
Oh, really? Therefore, I would fight out east, but cool.
California.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So
All
far,
right,
one
see,
to one.
I still write on paper.
Yeah.
By the way, you
Wow,
guys
you
were
write a
talking
lot.
about the other. Yeah.
You read a
you
lot
guys-
on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am burning up every forest in the world.
Yep. She smokes
Um,
real cigarettes, no filters. She gets
That's
the paper. You're writing on real paper.
rebel.
Man, this is great.
Rebel. Okay, Scott. Name the '80s movie theme tune from the following lyrics.
Okay.
You're burning, yearning for somebody to tell you that life ain't passing you by.
Burning yearning. Do I need to name the song or the movie?
If you name the song, you
just
name
name
the movie.
the song, you're fine.
That's right.
Oh,
Because
Brian
you name
knows
the
the
song, you
song.
name the movie.
Yeah,
Oh.
if you name the song, you name the movie.
Can you repeat the thing again?
Okay. You're burning, yearning for somebody to tell you that life ain't passing you by. Do you want me to-
Oh, I got it. It was filmed here. Footloose.
Very good. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't. The burning, yearning. That's the part that kicked into my
Yeah,
head.
that's
finally.
that's the key
My
right there.
passing you by.
Yeah, I got it now. Oh.
Very good.
It was
Yeah,
filmed
well
like
done.
20 minutes
Okay.
that way. It's in the shitty freaking flower plant thing that we have here. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, Brian.
Yes.
What Simon and Garfunkel song did the all-girls band The Bangles cover in 1987 for the movie Less Than Zero?
Ooh. Look around, hear the sound, and the hand. It's a hazy shade of winter.
Yep.
Tina loves that soundtrack too, which I'm fine with it too. I mean, you got going back to Cali. You got what else is on that? You don't have a cover, or you don't have any versions of the song that the movie is named for, which is an Elvis Costello song.
Well, I've got other songs that they recorded. It was "Walk Like an Egyptian," "Manic Monday," "Eternal Flame," and of course you got the awesome Susanna Hoffs
Oh yeah,
as the lead singer.
she's
little
fantastic.
hot little number.
She still is. She's still beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is anyone in the chat room keeping score?
Oh, it's three.
Oh,
It's two
two,
to
two.
one.
We forgot.
Well, no, Brian has 3. I have 2.
3-2.
But so far we
Yeah,
haven't.
you
we
guys are
haven't been
kicking it
wrong.
out the park.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew you guys would be good at this. All right, Scott.
Yeah.
Which 1986 movie features Love Missile F-111 by 66 Sputnik?
Oh, jeez. What film? Give me the name of the song again, or the band, or whatever it was. Give me the whole thing.
I'll give you the whole caboodle, baby. All right, it's Missile F-1-11 by 66 Sputnik.
Sig Sputnik.
Yeah, it was a 1986 huge movie.
Huge movie.
Yeah.
86. 86. Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, the biggest movie in 86 was like Top Gun. Is it Top Gun?
No.
Damn it! Ah, frick!
Do you want to throw to Brian?
Yeah.
Throw it to me, but I'm not sure I'm going to catch it. I know the song. I don't know. It was. This is a movie that doesn't have a soundtrack, or it doesn't have an official released album. Correct? This was just included in the soundtrack of the film.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You are exactly right.
Damn it!
You are right.
Frickety
You
poop
are right.
stickers.
And
Gosh
it was
dang
John
it.
Hughes, and it. Yeah, Sig Sputnik, this punk band that used a lot of Gundam artwork.
Yeah.
in their
I was going to
materials,
do
the
another
album
song,
covers
but I
and
thought
stuff.
that one was really obscure.
Yeah.
So, even I was like, oh, and I thought about it and I thought, no, that's a good one to chuck. All right, Brian,
Yeah.
which band performed the theme song to the 80s movie Pretty in Pink?
Oh, well, the name of the movie was taken from the song, which is a Psychedelic Furs song. And
Yes.
so the Psychedelic Furs is the answer.
Do you know the movie?
Oh, Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
Aren't you saying? Well, didn't you tell me Pretty in
I
Pink
think
as
she
part of
said.
the question?
Yeah, I think she said pretty.
I did. I just want to see if you remembered.
Who's keeping score? Does that give you 2 bonus? You got basically 2 up on me now, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
I've lost track now. Crap. 2-4. Katsumi.
That's all
K.
right. That's
Katsumi
all right.
says
I don't know.
2 to
Somebody-
4.
I'm sure somebody-
will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody in the chat room. I can't see the chat room, so I assume somebody in there is keeping score.
I just alt tab. K. Katsumi has it at 2-4 currently.
Okay, cool.
All right. Now I'm hiding them again. Goodbye. All right.
All right, Scott. Relax.
I'm
You
ready.
fine?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Frankie,
Who's
say
saying-
relax.
Who sang Ghostbusters for the 1984 movie Ghostbusters?
Oh, that's easy. That's Oh yeah, it's real easy if you're thinking about it.
That's easy.
Don't say Huey
shit.
Lewis. Don't say
What is
Huey
it?
Lewis. Don't say Huey Lewis. Don't say Billy Ocean.
Oh my gosh.
Herbert von
Uh,
Finkelpeenen.
He's a junior. He's a junior. Hold
All right,
on.
have a moment. Have a moment. Just think about it.
He's a junior. He's a junior.
Think about the song. Think about the film clip.
It's something straight. Ray Parker Jr. That's it.
There you
Yes,
go.
yes, there we go.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Holy
Scott,
shit.
you're actually a lot like me. My brain just goes into like fart mode for a moment, and then we're getting so lazy with being able to Google things that our brain's getting lazier and
Totally.
lazier.
That's
Yeah.
what Scott's doing is exactly what I do at trivia night with the team. And unfortunately, while I'm like funnily filing through the folders, the manila folders in my mind, one of the other members of the team is kind of shouting the answer at the rest of the table, like, "Oh, come on, I was gonna have it. I would have had it a second ago."
That's it. I find myself like I really try to resist Googling something, and I try to make my brain think of it. Okay, Brian.
Yeah.
All right, this is your question, dude.
All right, let's do it.
What is the name of the 1968 Jackie DeShannon song, re-recorded by Annie Lennox and Al Green, used in the 1988 comedy Scrooged?
I believe, and I could be this one. I'm hoping that I'm thinking of the right song. It's a cover. Come on, you gotta give it to me. I believe it is "Put a Little Love in Your Heart."
You are exactly right.
Oh, that's right. I wouldn't have been able
Jackie
to steal.
DeShannon also, by the way, if I remember correctly, did the original version of Betty Davis Eyes that Kim Carnes covered and
Really?
turned into a big hit. Yeah. Jackie
I didn't
DeShannon.
even know that was a cover. I didn't know that.
This
And
happens.
it's so
okay.
much more countrified. The original
Oh, yeah.
Jackie DeShannon version is so country, like it's weird.
It
It's
happens
a weird
all the
dichotomy.
time with Brian, by the way. I find out that Tainted Love, ever since Tainted Love, I just don't believe anything's ever not a cover anymore. Drives me
Right,
crazy.
yeah. No, I blew your
Well, it's a
mind
bit-
with,
it's a bit
I
like
got
the-
my mind set on you.
Isn't it? It's the Whitney Houston song. I mean, it was a Dolly Parton song, and
Yeah,
then Whitney
yeah, I
Houston
will
just
always
grabbed it and just woof.
Yes.
And
went off.
exploded it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks to that, Nick Lowe now, like, he was able to move into a better house because there's also a cover of What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding on the Bodyguard soundtrack. And because everybody bought the soundtrack for that Whitney Houston song, he got royalties too. So he was able
That's
to
awesome.
buy a really
Bodyguard
nice house
is
because of
huge.
that.
I
That's-
think it's still the #1 best-selling
I think so.
soundtrack from a movie of all time.
Yeah, and
I'm pretty sure that.
and it had the
yeah.
Mariner on there. The Mariner was in that movie with his gills.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
All right, Scott.
Yeah.
What 80s musical movie includes the tracks Dadu, Some Fun Now, and Somewhere That's Green?
Give me the three again,
Brian
please.
knows it. Look at Brian's face.
know
He
it.
knows
Can
it.
you can you
I
give
bought
them,
this.
give
I have
me
this on vinyl right there.
give me the names again?
Okay, so it is Dadu,
Dadu.
Some Fun Now, and Somewhere That's Green.
Oh! You just the thing you did there at the middle there that got
yeah,
me.
I just sang a bit of it.
I don't know if that's a cheat.
Sorry,
or not.
Brian.
No, that's all right.
Steve Martin and Rick Moranis deal. Based on the play, it's the big man-eating, fly-catching, plant-looking units.
You see more?
Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors.
There you go.
Yes.
Very good.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
dude! How did I get that?
Yeah, do you know that's the only movie that Steve Martin and Bill Murray were in together ever?
Wait a minute. Bill Murray was in that? I don't remember him being
Yeah,
in that.
he was the patient, the sadistic,
Exactly.
or the masochistic dentist.
He wanted the
patient.
pain. He wanted
That's
the
right.
pain.
That's true, but he was
isn't that
on.
amazing though? Because they're two of my favorite comedic actors, and that's the only movie they've ever been in together.
It is-
Thanks
it
to
is
Frank
crazy.
Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no kidding.
it's
But they-
nuts.
And you know who played that character, Bill Murray's character in the original,
No.
the old black and white Little Shop of Horrors? Jack Nicholson.
Jack
Oh, no
Nicholson.
way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, Steve Martin used to come do that regular Wild and Crazy Guys thing on SNL when Bill Murray was there.
Oh,
So,
the crazy guy.
so I guess those guys were together there, but they never did movies, and that's weird. They should do them now. They should make an old guy
Well,
movie.
the other wild and crazy guy was Aykroyd.
Well, right,
not,
but I just
Bill Murray.
mean he was
Oh,
there when they
yeah.
were there, And so
Right.
they should stop everything now. Go make a show. Go make a movie about two old guys trying to make it in New York or something. There's your movie.
Yes, there
I
should be.
agree.
I completely agree. Although I think Steve Martin has had some plastic surgery and he looks a bit like a Korean woman now, so that's a bit weird. But
Wow.
Bill Murray's just sort of relaxed into his old age.
Yeah, I love
face.
it. Yeah, everyone loves
Those
that too.
put those two guys in your Bosom Buddies remake, and you'll make $1 million right
Yep,
there.
hot money. in
Yeah,
your
they should
pocket.
do like an odd angry couple or something like that.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm. Let's get this started.
All right.
Okay, Brian.
Yes.
All right, who sang? Sorry, I did your questions a little bit tougher because I know you're the
That's
music
totally
guy.
fine. That's totally fine.
Okay. Who sang The Never-Ending Story for the 1984 fantasy movie?
Why, that would be Kaja Gugu's lead singer, Lamal.
That is correct.
And multicolored mullet wearing Lamal.
I would not
Do
a
you know who it
chance
was
in
written
hell.
by?
I get that. That's
Oh,
too
who
hard.
wrote the theme song for?
Never-Ending
Giorgio
Story.
Moroder, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know who
he's-
any of
he
those
was
people
like the
are.
king
All
of-
of those names you
You
could have
know-
made up, and I wouldn't know.
You absolutely. Well, you know who Kaja Gugu is. Too shy, hush, hush, how do I?
Oh.
Lamal was the lead singer of that band.
Okay.
And Giorgio Moroder, he was actually the musician who did Take My Breath Away for Top Gun, and it was really just Terry Nunn's vocals on top of his production. He also did that album
Yeah.
with Daft Punk a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Giorgio Moroder is a god. Like
Yeah.
there's so many
Electric,
of them.
Electric Dreams and
I think he wrote Flash Dance. I
Flashdance?
think if I
Oh,
remember
really?
correctly.
She's
Yeah.
a
Might have-
maniac.
that I don't know.
Wait, she a
Yeah.
maniac? Yeah, she's a maniac on the floor.
That's it.
Well, that's
it.
Michael
Well done,
Cimbello.
Scott. He wrote "She's a Maniac." Yeah,
Is that the
which
one
is
that
one of
was,
my favorite.
okay.
Yep. Okay, so all right. Oh, and who sang it in Stranger Things? Did you guys watch Stranger Things?
Yeah, they sing. The kids do, don't they? I haven't seen that.
Which
They
kids?
sing.
This is not a point thing. This is just curiosity.
Well, they sing the Never-Ending Story. Like it's the
But you know who sings it?
the kid without the front teeth.
Dustin
don't
and
know.
Susie.
Dustin
And it's
Susie.
good.
yeah.
It
It
introduced
is really
a whole
good.
heap
Yeah.
of- Yeah, it introduced a whole heap of people to that music and that movie, and that was really cool.
They do
right.
harmonization and everything. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they sang it well.
Yeah.
All right, so Scott, number 12. Oh, I didn't tell a sex story at the beginning of this, did I? Oh, well, next time. Next time, I got heaps of them.
Okay.
All right. So, Scott, what British band contributed to the movie Xanadu?
What British
Oh,
band?
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
what
Well,
British band?
British band
it's what we
contributed
just
to the
talked about
movie
this
Xanadu?
morning. It's ELO, Electric Light Orchestra.
Yes,
Oh. It's
correct.
right there on my shirt.
That's funny because it's on Brian's
Oh
shirt,
my God.
and we talked about it today. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
All right. Someone in the chat.
Yeah, the movie,
mark
the
me
movie
down.
was a flop. Soundtrack was a success. Magic Xanadu. It was number 1 in the US and the UK. 5th most popular soundtrack of 1981.
That movie
So-
was not a
but I
flop in
still
the.
love it.
It was not a flop in the Johnson house. We revered that film when I was a
Yeah.
kid. Yeah, we loved it.
Just
Soundtrack,
it's awesome.
yes. Film is.
Oh, we loved the movie
Oh,
in my
come
house.
on! It's got
Does
Olivia
not hold up.
Newton-John. It's got you know. We analysed this.
Oh,
The Richmond
believe me,
Cinema
I-
analysed it. It
Yeah.
was the casting of him, like not Gene Kelly, Michael from the Warriors.
Yeah.
There was
right,
no chemistry between
the
him
painter.
and Olivia Newton-John. If it had been John Travolta or someone else, it might have been a meta movie. But
Hmm.
like Sophia Coppola with Godfather 3, you
Mhm.
just need that
Just
one
bad
person
casting.
to completely stuff it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got issues. It's kind of a terrible movie in retrospect. But at the time, me and my sisters thought it was the greatest thing ever, and we watched it incessantly on VHS.
Yeah. When was the last
God,
time you
it's
saw it?
still the greatest thing.
Oh, it
it
was
is
like
still the greatest
80s.
thing.
No, I assume it's terrible now.
We podcasted it and we got a huge response.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's
Like,
terrible
huge.
now. Like if we watch this for Film Sack, there's no way this is good.
No.
There's no way this is
No.
good. It can't be good.
No, I'm telling you, it's Michael. What's his face? He was just dreadful.
Yeah.
That's what messed it up.
Not
Gene
Michael
Kelly is great.
Pare. What's the guy's name? I
Michael-
keep wanting to say Michael Prey, but it's not Michael Prey. That was.
Come on,
But Eat, Pray, Love.
Catherine.
I have no idea.
What is it? Michael from
Panetti.
the Warriors.
Penzance. The Pirate of Penzance.
Michael Penzance.
Is he the one that does the come out and play EA? That's not him. Not that guy. The other guy.
He wasn't in much. He was in the Warriors, and he was actually quite good in the Warriors. But then they put him in this, and it was one of the worst miscastings ever in a movie because it
Did he
didn't
wear
work. Because Olivia
did he
had
wear
more
a,
chemistry with Gene.
Do you wear a baseball uniform? Yeah, it's true.
It wasn't. It's not James Remar, is it? James Remar? Not James Remar.
Nope. No, but James Remar was in.
Someone said Michael Bublé.
Is that what someone in the
Pops in
chat said?
recliner said Michael Bublé. You smart ass.
Michael Beck.
Okay, Brian, it is your
Yeah.
next question. It's number 13.
All right.
Name the song and movie from these lyrics. I've got more in me, and you can set me free. I can catch the moon in my hand.
I've got more in me, and you can set me free. I can catch the moon in my. I can catch the moon in my hand. Feels like the thing that should be the memorable part of this. Ooh, usually lyrics are my thing. I've got more in me.
Do you want me to sing a bit of it?
Doesn't have any ringing. There's no bell ringing.
I don't know if that would be. I don't know if that would be fair.
I
But it
sang
would
a
help
bit for
me.
Scott. I did sing a little bit for Scott, so I
Oh,
can at
that's
least
true.
sing the
Help.
first line.
All right.
Well,
Yep.
only-
Give me a little bit of melody.
I've got more in me, and you can set me free.
Oh,
That's Irene
shit.
Cara right there, singing "Fame."
That is correct.
Fame.
Yep, 1980.
live
Written by Alan Parker.
I had to think and make sure it wasn't Flashdance because she did Flashdance as well. And I want to make sure that I wasn't thinking of the wrong Irene Cara song.
Irene.
I
Cara.
try to pick different movies for each of the rounds.
In my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Who I am, remember my name.
Fame.
All right, Scott.
Yeah.
Number 14. What 80s Bond movie did Aha record the song for?
Again, we kind of talked about this morning with Aha, but
I
I don't think
know.
I actually said the name.
Oh, I forgot this. It would have been. Oh, which Bond is it? Don't tell me. You can't tell me. We just talked about this on a trivia thing ourselves. The Living Daylights. The Living
There
Daylights.
you go. Very good.
That is absolutely correct.
Oh my
well
gosh,
done. Timothy
okay.
Dalton. It was the 15th Bond movie. It was the first film without Roger Moore. He was 59 years old.
Oh, wow.
And it was by John Barry.
Was that
Yeah.
was the first of the Dalton Bonds? Was Living
Yep.
Daylights? I guess
Wait
it
a
was.
minute,
Yeah.
who was
Just
59?
Roger was getting a bit old in the tooth.
Roger Moore was
Really?
59 then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem that old.
Yeah.
Did you know that
Alright.
Roger Moore is older than Sean Connery, or was?
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Oh, he died.
By like
didn't
2
he?
or 3 years. Yeah, Roger Moore passed
But I
away. a
think
couple
Sean
years ago.
Connery's like 80. He just had his 80-something birthday, and there's something weird about it. You just don't want to see a photo of them.
Mm.
Oh, really?
You just kind of think they've got that
Yeah.
old man face now, and you just
Yeah.
don't want to remember them that way. And you're just like, oh, please, no one take a photo of him.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian.
Yes.
Number 15.
All right.
And that wasn't me the other day, that girl.
I
that was
still-
not me.
But I think the one who called in left a message may not have been you, but the one who called in during the show that we played, I swear to God, that was you.
The time before, I've done it once.
Yes. Okay.
I've done it once. I promise you, I didn't leave a message. So that poor little girl, that's her voice. All right. So number 15.
Yeah.
Who composed, Brian, the soundtrack songs for the 1984 movie The Woman in Red?
Oh, Gene Wilder, and that's not my answer, but I'm saying a Gene Wilder film with not Rebecca De Mornay. Who's the other the British hotness? What would you little maniacs like to do first? Weird Science.
Kelly
Her.
Kelly
Kelly
LeBrock.
LeBrock. Thank you. I think I know that I Just Called to Say I Love You was from that film, so I assume Stevie Wonder did more than just that song for the soundtrack. So I'm gonna say Stevie Wonder.
You are exactly right.
Yay!
Yeah, I Just Called to Say I Love You. It won an Oscar.
Yeah.
It was best-selling single to date. Gene Wilder, Kelly LeBrock, Charles Grodin is brilliant in it. He also wrote Love, Light and Flight, Don't Drive Drunk, and it also features the wonderful Dionne Warwick. So
There you go.
brilliant,
That
brilliant
was on
soundtrack.
HBO all the time in the in the 80s.
It was our second podcast. It was our second podcast
really?
because
Was
when
that
we
Woman in
started,
Red?
Gene Wilder just died. So we thought, oh, it's 80s. What movie do we do? And we churned out that one.
And
Okay,
who was,
Scott.
Who was his wife in? Because like he was cheating on his wife with Kelly LeBrock. Who was his wife in that?
He
Do you
never
remember?
officially cheated.
Well, I guess no. They just ended up in a hotel room, and
And Kelly
couldn't
LeBrock
go
was
through with
naked,
it.
and he had to
Yeah.
go out on the window. And
yeah, that was the part of the movie that I kept seeing on HBO that was all right with me.
it was Kelly LeBrock. I mean, you know.
exactly.
Jeez, you can't complain about that one.
She was made by Anthony Michael Hall, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, she came out of a bathroom, was created from a bra and a rocket, and yeah, she's
Exactly.
excellent.
Didn't she jump
All right,
out of a
Scott.
window or something? I remember her jumping out of a window in that movie. Why do I have that in my memory?
No,
Gene
Gene
Wilder had to
Wilder's
climb out the
character
window-
jumped out the window.
Oh,
And she was married to Steven Seagal for a bit.
Jeez.
really?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ugh. Hey, baby.
I know.
Then he married Vladimir Putin.
All right, sorry. You have one for me. What do you got there?
I do have one for you. What two Harry Belafonte songs were used in the 1988 fantasy comedy horror movie Beetlejuice?
Ooh.
Harry Belafonte songs?
Come on.
Harry
You
Belafonte.
know Harry Belafonte.
Think of the main songs that were in Beetlejuice.
Tally.
They got a couple of names, so you can
Tally
refer to
Me
them.
Banana Song, whatever it is.
That's it. Banana Boat Song. Yep, from 1956,
Okay.
and the other one is
Shoot. I don't know this one. I know the Banana Boat Song. What else does he do? I don't even know what else he has.
well, it's just they used two of them in this movie. Do you want to throw it to Brian?
Yeah, I don't know the second one.
And
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure on the title, but it's the one at the very end that closes out the film, and it has Winona Ryder kind of floating up doing the song. Is it Jump in the Line? Rock?
You're exactly
Jump
right.
in-
Yeah,
Damn
it's
it.
officially called Deo, but it's also called Jump in the Line.
Damn,
It's
that
a
thing.
Jamaican work song.
Well,
Jump in the line,
Deo
let
is
the ball
the
in
Banana
time.
Boat song.
Oh, it is?
Oh yeah, I
I
believe,
believe
you.
you. Yeah.
Oh, jump in the
Okay,
line.
I believe you. Jump in the line. Rock your
freaking-
body
Rock
in
your body
time.
in time.
All right, now I know it. All right, I'm
All right,
losing.
so you get a point each there.
Okay.
So whoever's keeping score,
Yeah, chat room, whoever's
you
doing
get a
that.
point
Very good.
each. All right,
Very good.
Brian.
Yes.
What was the decade of the 80s top-selling movie soundtrack? All right,
what
I'll
was the
give you
best-selling-
options.
Yeah.
What
okay.
was the best-selling soundtrack? All right, I've got
of the
options.
80s? Okay.
Dirty Dancing, Batman, Purple Rain, Flashdance, The Blues Brothers, or Top Gun?
Oh wow. Okay. Those would all be huge. Dirty Dancing, for some reason, just rising to the top. But I'm wondering if like so many Prince fans picked up that Batman soundtrack, expecting it to be more Princey and less, more like Bat Dance and less like the rest of the stuff that was on there. I don't think Purple Rain, as much as I want Purple Rain to be the best-selling soundtrack of the 80s, I don't think it was. I think Dirty Dancing just had more wider audience appeal to it. I'm going to say Dirty Dancing. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to say Dirty Dancing.
You are wrong. Scott, do you want to go?
Purple Rain.
Correct.
It was Purple Rain.
I think
Sold 13
yeah.
million copies, and it's still the number third. So Prince, 25 million copies sold, numerous awards, third best-selling soundtrack of all time. Number 1 is The Bodyguard, 2 Saturday Night Fever, 3 Purple Rain, 4 Forrest Gump.
Oh, really? Forrest Gump even ahead of Dirty Dancing. You know what? Purple Rain deserves to be up there, so I'm glad to see it is up there.
This is overall so far. So number 5 was Dirty Dancing. So you were really close, Brian. Number 6, Titanic. Number 7, The Lion King. 8, Footloose. Number 9, Top Gun. And number 10, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah, but if you're just counting 80s, that thing is what, third?
Purple Rain is number 1.
Number 1, but what's
Dirty Dancing was number 3.
number 3 in the 80s? What was number 2 in
in
the 80s?
80s.
What was number 2 in the
Well,
80s?
Well, if Forrest Gump was the only thing between
Forrest Gump is 94. It's not in the 80s.
Exactly. So if Forrest Gump
Yeah.
was the only thing in your list between Purple Rain and Dirty Dancing, I would put Dirty Dancing at the second in the 80s.
Oh, right.
I think it was something like Top Gun or something was number 2.
Well, Okay.
Oh, really?
It could
Okay.
be.
Yeah.
You know what else probably did pretty well is that Beverly Hills Cop 2 album did well. I don't know how well, but it's gotta
Beverly
be.
Hills Cop 1, the album is great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neutron Dance and Heat Is On and Harold Faltermeyer,
Yep.
XLF.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if I could name one song from Beverly Hills 2 soundtrack.
No, I can't either.
All right. Where are
All
we
right,
at?
so Scott,
Yeah.
it's your question.
Sweet.
Okay, so
Well,
who rang and sang the main theme song to the movie Weird Science?
Weird Science. Oh, that's Danny Elfman and Oingo Boingo.
There you go.
That is correct. You ticked it on both behalves.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Ha
Tim Burton, big fan of his.
Yeah.
Uses him in a lot.
He's great.
Beetlejuice, Batman, Edward
Absolutely.
Scissorhands, Mars Attacks,
Yeah,
Sleepy Hollow, etc.
yeah.
And
All right,
almost always
Brian.
works with Danny Elfman. Yes.
Yes. Well, they find those people they just work well with, and it's the same with
Oh,
crew,
exactly.
film crews, and stuff like that. They just find people they work really well with.
And who also
I've
can
got a really
capture,
good quiz for
capture
your
the vision. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I've got a good quiz for next month, for you two boys, and it's Hudson Hawk again.
Fury Road.
Scott's most guilty pleasure movie of
Oh.
all time.
Oh, that's not a guilty. Fury Road is not a. Oh, it's got to be Waterworld then. I was gonna say
Well, it's Waterworld, of
Fury
course.
Okay.
Road's not a guilty pleasure for him. Just a
Yeah, so I've
pleasure.
done separate questions for each of you,
Okay.
and I've tried to
And
keep
we
them
get to
even.
watch.
So that's
And we get to watch those films the night before we do the show, right?
Right.
Of course you do. Of
Yeah.
course
Thank
you do.
goodness,
But they're your
yeah.
guilty pleasures, so you should know them well. I mean, you guys could test me
Oh,
on the
God.
day after tomorrow. That's my guilty pleasure. So
Yeah.
I think the reason I like Hudson Hawk so much is because I haven't seen it more than 3 or 4 times. I think if I saw it more often, then I'd probably hate it.
it's weird, Brian. I watched it for the first time ever after you confessed what your guilty pleasure movie
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
and that's a strange movie.
It is
Yeah.
a strange movie, and like on the surface, like okay, a couple of guys who know music so well that they can do bank heists or pull off heists based on the length of a song, knowing when the security cameras and knowing when the alarms are going to go off.
That's the best
But then-
part, and they
that
didn't
is the
use
best
enough
part.
of that.
But then
they
you've got
didn't
that
use
whole
enough of that.
Sandra Bernhard and Richard E. Grant and Ball and all that stuff. Like okay,
Oh,
that
it's
is
weird. It's weird.
part's
So I've
whacked
done all
out.
your questions. I've got to do Scott's questions. So
Oh God.
that,
Okay.
that's next month. All right. So Scott.
Hmm.
No, it's Brian.
Oh.
Okay.
Number 19. We're nearly there. So which
Okay.
of these songs was not featured in the movie Highlander by Queen?
Not
All right.
featured.
I've got options.
Okay.
All
Was
right.
it Princes of the Universe, Who Wants to Live Forever, I Want It All, Hammer to Fall, or A Kind of Magic?
Okay. So
That's actually hard.
Um,
That's a hard one.
that is a hard one because that was basically they added those songs onto the end of the Kind of Magic album.
Yeah, there's never actually been an album released of the Highlander
soundtrack on its own.
soundtrack, which is crazy.
Yeah, but that's what's great about living now because Spotify, Apple Music, everybody, they all have these playlists now that basically compile these albums. It's awesome. So you can go
Okay.
get
Yeah,
it.
that's true. You can just like look them up and put your own
Mhm.
sound together. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
All right,
cool.
so Princes
but you
of the
only go
Universe
through Princes of the
absolutely-
Universe,
Absolutely was
Wants
in the
to Live
film.
Forever,
100% was in the film.
I Want It All,
I want it all
Ham-
may not have been in the film. Keep
Hammer
going.
to Fall, and A Kind of Magic.
Yeah, Kind of Magic you hear in
It's a kind of magic.
you hear in Christopher Lambert's antique store. You hear it in the background when they're so I'm pretty sure you hear that one, which is a weird one because that's like their little poppy. So I think it's between I Want It All and Hammer to Fall. Yeah, why couldn't you have said One Vision? Because I know that's from Iron Eagle, but came out roughly around the same
Oh
time.
my gosh.
What's
Iron
going to make
Eagle.
it too easy for you, Brian?
I know,
You're
I
very
know.
good at the
Hammer to
music.
Fall. Here we stand, here we fall. And Hammer to Fall didn't come out on the Kind of Magic album, I think. I think it came out on the one before that with Radio Gaga and all that. I'm going to say, because I could see I Want It All being part of Highlander. Shoot, and here by doing all this, I've basically narrowed it down to 2, which means that if this goes to Scott, he probably could just pick the other one.
This is fun watching your process, by the way, because we get to
Yeah.
see Brian break this stuff down
It
in
is
real time.
it is an isolating like process of elimination on this one.
Yep.
I don't even think. I think I Want It All also didn't come out on the A Kind of Magic album. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna say, and it's really a coin flip at this moment. I'm gonna say I Want It All was not in the Highlander.
Correct.
Wow.
Woohoo!
Wow. Well done, Brian.
Thank you. Jeez.
Jeez Louises.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
And that would have been a gimme because if I would have gone with Hammer to Fall, then
then I would have known. Yeah.
snatched up. Yeah.
Yep. I watched
All
Brian's
right,
process.
so this is the last question, Scott.
Whoa. All right.
All right. Which Rocky movie was the first to feature the song "Eye of the Tiger" by Survivor?
Rocky 3, the Mr. T one.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
you
they
know
use that in multiple?
shit. You
Did they use
know
that in
it.
multiple? I only know it from Rocky 3, but did they use it in 4 and 5?
It's a good question. I don't
Probably,
know.
but I said which was the first.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I meant.
But they
Yeah.
didn't use it all 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
this might. I think this might be a tie.
Is it
Pretty
a
damn
tie
close,
right
'cause
now?
There were a couple
You
steals
guys
on.
were just
There
yeah.
were steals on both sides. I'm pulling the chat room back up here now.
Okay, Kei Katsumi
Yeah.
in the chat. I just pulled it
Bring
up
them
too.
back up because I
He
do
says-
have a tiebreaker.
He says
so if we're in a tie,
8.5
I've got a
he says
tiebreaker.
8.5 to 10.5. So Brian wins. Brian wins by 2 basically. Right? Because you only
Oh,
do.
really?
Yeah. How did you get the 0.5s? Were those steals not worth a full point? Is that how we did it? I don't know how that works.
Unless it was the point, instead of giving us a full point for each of the Harry Belafonte songs, in case they might have given us half a point for each of those.
Oh.
I think
In
for
which case it would be
the Beetlejuice
10
one, I think
to
you
11.
each got a point.
So then it'd be 10 to 11. So only one
Yeah.
point.
One
only
point between
away.
us. Damn it!
Yeah.
That's really good though.
Whoa.
Well done. Well done, Brian.
And every quiz so far, Scott's won. So well done, Brian.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks. I needed to
Total
redeem myself on
champion.
this.
So the
Well
real
done.
the real score then is 2-1 then, right? Because I've got 2 quizzes to Brian's 1.
Okay, Scott. Okay, yes, the real score is
Yeah,
2 to
fine.
1.
All right.
All right, we'll
yeah.
see how that goes.
0.5 to 1.5.
There you go. Next month we'll see if he can't even the score or if I can broaden my lead in totals quizzes one.
Yes.
We'll see how that
Well,
goes.
this will be
I'm
an
nervous
interesting
about
one
the,
because
the Waterworld versus Hudson Hawk, because now I'm wondering, all right, well, I definitely will watch Hudson Hawk. Do I also watch Waterworld in case there's a steal chance?
Oh, and I really don't want to watch
I'm
Hudson
not.
Hawk.
I'm not going to do the steal for next.
Okay, you won't. Okay,
yeah,
good.
I'm not doing it.
Okay.
You boys have specific topics.
Yeah.
You know, Scott's Waterworld, your Waterworld, Scott, and Brian, you are Hudson Hawk, and there's no stealing. You don't know the answer. It's as simple as that. So I'm getting all strict on your asses.
All right,
Nice.
strict ass. I like it. It's Gidget
Yeah.
Von LaRue, everybody. Tell people about the podcast you host so they can go find it, your movie show.
Oh, thank you. It's the Retro Cinema Podcast. We've just done our top 10. This is really weird because we do a top 10 at the end of each month. We did our top 10 non-80s movies that are based in the 80s. So that's
Oh,
our most
that's
recent
cool.
pod. Yeah, it was a real good challenge. It was really interesting, and I'll give it away now. Fargo was my number one. So yeah, that's really good fun. We got Angel Heart coming out next week, and I'm guesting on a lot of other podcasts as well in the next few weeks. So if you can look us up, it's the Retro Cinema Podcast. So give us a listen.
Nice. Yeah, you should do that, everybody. Go check it out. Gidget, have a fantastic day or night or whatever it is you have there. And we'll see you next time.
It's not. I'm going to bed. I've got to wake up in about 3 hours.
Oh, my
so-
Lord. All right, we'll
Oh,
smoke him if you
jeez.
got him. We'll see you later.
She's got him. Sleep well.
Yeah, she's got him.
Oh, very
May
good.
as well smoke him. All right, well, that's actually good that we went a little long because Wendy said Peter disappeared and she couldn't find him. Now she's found him,
Oh,
and she'll be here in about a minute, so all is well.
whew, thank goodness.
Yeah, no good to lose your kid. He just ran off somewhere, but they found him. All right, that means that we're going to take a break. We're going to do a quick song, and then we'll be back with Wendy. We got a topic today I think that is important and probably applies to a whole lot of the stuff we end up getting on the show about Therapy Thursday as it is. So hold on for that.
Good.
Brian's got a song in the meantime. Brian, what are we doing?
All right, so we're doing a cover for our middle song too, not just for our last song. This is going to be a cover as well, but it's not a cover in the traditional sense of the cover. If you go see a band called Choir, and they're going to be here in Colorado for 2 shows, one in Boulder on the 6th that I'm going to be seeing another concert that night, so I can't see. The other one is on the 7th, the day after, down at Denver University. When you go see a choir show, you not only enjoy the concert, you are part of the concert, because the band, and it's really 2 guys, one with a guitar, one is a vocalist, one is a kind of an arranger. They arrange the audience to do different parts of the music and then perform it all as a group. The entire audience performs it. It's really, really cool. So Choir just released this brand new cover of Billie Eilish's Bad Guy, which I think is the song that unseated Lil Nas X off of the top of the Billboard charts. About time.
Thank the Lord. I was so sick of Old Town Road. I wanted to die. Oh, my God.
Right? Exactly.
Yes.
I still don't think I've heard the entire song. I just heard the little clip that they keep using for memes with Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, I hate it.
But anyway, so here is Choir, and their cover of Billie Eilish's Bad Guy.
To make every day more enjoyable, treat yourself often to refreshing, delicious Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum. Here's a taste treat you can enjoy indoors, outdoors, at work, or at play.
A little glass donkey with a hind leg missing.
The Morning Stream. That's my safety word.
All right, we're back, everybody, and welcome back to the program. It is time for Wendy Dunford to enter the fray.
Yay! Now, is she back at home, or is she still there with you?
Back at home. She's back to school, got all the kids in school. Actually, I don't know if they just started school.
Oh, right.
What's the deal? It's something like that.
Hello. Sorry.
Oh, you're totally fine. You know what? We went kind of along with our quiz segment thing anyway, and it turned out perfect. So perfect day to lose Peter. It's not a problem.
It's every day. I lose Peter.
How is he now? He's fine, right? He's all good. Where did he? Yeah.
You know, he just has zero fear of anything, and is got a head full of ideas that pop in there, and he just follows them. So
yeah. I'll tell you something funny about when you guys were here, and I loved being around your kids. They were awesome. And by the way, expect some packages in the mail. We have this really cool stuff we're going to send him as a follow-up to the art thing. But anyway,
sweet.
Peter is outside. I'm outside, and I'm just kind of chilling. I can't remember what I was doing, checking my texts. I had the dog with me. And Peter was out there as well. This was Saturday night. Everybody else is in being loud. This is after dinner. Okay, so we'd gotten back. Yeah. And while we're outside, he proceeds. He's just sort of in his own world over there, and I love watching it. It's like he's just sort of in his imagination. And he goes over to this big bucket we had outside that was full of ice and soft drinks for the get-together. And it all had melted by then. But he is setting it up so that there's like a big tower of cans on the side of this table thing by the lawn chair. And I'm just sitting over there watching him do it. And then when he gets done, he kind of rubs his chin and he looks at me and he goes, "Uncle Scott, which of these do you like the most?" And I go,
and they're all in a stack,
yeah.
Right?
And and I said, "Well, do you mean which one do I want to drink the most?" He goes, "Yeah, in fact, tell me which 2 you like the most," he says. And I go, "All right, well, I like that Mountain Dew down there in the corner, and I like that whatever Shasta thing we had." I said, "I like that one too. It's a pineapple thing." And he goes, "This is going to be a problem." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because that one you like is on the bottom, and if I pull that, they all fall down." And I said,
"Oh, I was expecting like a magic trick where he was going to go, wah, like karate chop and knock just the can you want out, and all the rest kind of."
Yeah, it was a real fun little strange bonding moment. He reminds me a lot of how my brain works. Everyone's got a little Peter in their brain, I think, is what's going on.
Yeah, or everyone has a little Scott in their genes in my family.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Scott spread around. Sorry,
there's
everybody.
so much Jamie material right here.
Yeah, that's no good. But I'll tell you what, it was really fun seeing everybody. I hope you guys had a safe trip back. When'd you get home? Wednesday.
We flew out Tuesday morning.
Tuesday, that's right.
And it was a short 2-hour flight. Okay, here's my question for everyone.
Yeah.
Are airlines lying to say how long a flight is, and then when we land early, you just feel like they're awesome and they're messing with us? Because
A little bit.
Because my first flight was 40 minutes early. I'm sorry. Is that even possible?
40 minutes. Well, usually it's like, oh, well, we had, we were able to get you here on time. I think it's just a common practice now to under promise the length of the flight so you can over deliver, basically. And
Right.
because
So
everyone
it was
wants to
40
brag
minutes early.
about, everyone wants to brag about how many on times they have. So if we just make the landing time about half an hour late, then we'll always be on time.
Well, the thing is, they don't have a lot to brag about, right? So when airlines are under all kinds of scrutiny for crappy seats, and they're getting smaller and smaller, and your bags don't fit, and they're charging you for bags and carry-ons, and the food's more expensive, like all those things add up to be a pretty negative view of a flying experience. So this is like the one thing they can point to and pat it themselves, and then say, "Hey, look at that, we got you there 45 minutes early."
Exactly.
And
I mean, it was crazy early, which means, Misha's at home cooking when I land. I'm like, hey, you gotta come get me now, because it throws you off. Anyway, and then on the way back, we were 20 minutes early.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's lying.
Did you leave on time? You left on time, right? Like
Left on time, landed 20 minutes early.
That's all. That's very odd.
Either we're crapping out all our fuel and ruining the world faster, or they are just
had a great tailwind. We had a great tailwind, so we made some good time.
Yeah, jet
Yeah,
stream.
you used to go travel. I don't know. That was weird. Anyway, but there's that.
Did you?
So yeah, we got home Tuesday.
All right. Don't ever forget. Just a reminder, because you were saying how this happens. Don't forget headphones next time you fly somewhere. Just don't forget.
I know. I had to borrow 3 pair from Misha. It was embarrassing.
3 pair? Like, how many do you use at a time?
Well, it's the kids.
Well,
She's got the
4
kids.
children with no headphones for 2 hours.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so
Bad
not
idea.
I thought it was for you. You needed 3 pairs to listen to, but you need it for the whole family. I gotcha.
It's like the
Do you know
winter.
what's pretty awesome though? There was a baby crying on the flight, and my kids were like, "Wow, can you get that baby to be quiet?" And I was like, "Oh, the irony!
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, they
You
don't
were
get to
that
say
baby.
that.
You were that stinking baby during takeoff
Actually,
and land."
all
landing.
human beings, I think, should not have a say in that, because they were all babies,
Right.
and they would have all cried.
and they all would have cried when
Yeah.
their ears hurt or
Yeah.
the turbulence was garbage. You know,
You just want to be on a flight with my wife. She'll rush back 4 rows of seats and help you. She'll bring candy and hold the baby and change its diaper. She's insane. She does that every time there's a crying baby on a plane. So always hope you fly with Kim. Always fly with Kim.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
fly with Kim. That should be your motto, Delta.
Well, you're here, and that's good, because we got stuff to talk about. We're not going to do an email today. Instead, we're going to dig into a topic, and the topic, unironically, is kind of every email we get. It feels like, or at least there's an aspect of it to almost everything we ever get from people. And so I think it's going to be a good one, an important one to talk about for those joining us for the very first time. I'm sure some of you are out there. Wendy's an actual therapist. She comes on Thursdays, does a little therapy for people at home. And today's no different. We're going to do it at large. So we're going to talk about the rise of anxiety in modern culture. It does seem like, now here's the question that I'll start us off with. It does seem like it's way more on the lips of everybody. And I can't tell if it's because there is an actual rise in actual clinically, calculable, sort of quantifiable anxiety in people, or if we're just all talking about it more because the internet exists, or because like anything else, like everybody talked about tampering in the 80s because that Tylenol thing happened, or people talked about razor blades and candy because that one Halloween there was one case somewhere in like the Midwest, and it didn't happen anywhere else. But yet for the next 8 years, all we talked about was check your candy. There might be blades in there. I guess the question is it really as big of a jump as it seems like, because it's in so much in the national conversation or the international conversation, or is it less than? And I guess take it from there.
Yeah, no, those are good points. I think that question is not answerable maybe yet, because it is seem logical. Like, okay, maybe we're better at diagnosing. Maybe people feel safer to express that they're actually feeling anxiety, and I think that's a big one, right? Like, you're safer to say it. You can, just the other day, someone was supposed to do some work on our house. They did not show up. We rearranged our entire house so that they could do the work on the ceilings, and they didn't come. And we're like, what the crap? Turns out he had some anxiety that he just kind of buckled under and could not function. And he let us know, and we were like, okay. I mean, and here's part of the interesting thing is, like, I don't think he would have said that maybe 20 years ago.
Right.
We would have never known. He might have just disappeared.
And
But
it's-
also, he's telling the therapist this. So I'm like, of course we can reschedule.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like, oh, come over, and then while you're working, I'll
talk about it.
we'll
Yeah,
talk about it. We'll
totally.
get you through it.
Totally, because I just need to put my bedroom back into the actual bedroom. Could we do that, please? Yeah. No,
Right.
it's so yeah. So there's all these factors that are new with, you know, whatever. But you know, we could follow the history of ADD diagnosis with autism diagnoses, and you can sort of say, oh, it's because now we're catching it, and now we're et cetera, et cetera. However, there's some things recently that have made me think, I don't know, it's kind of contrary evidence in my mind. And one is, and if anyone gets a chance to read it, it's an article in the Wall Street Journal called "The Lonely Burden of Today's Teenage Girls." So while I was in Utah, I did a lecture at a friend's house. She invited a bunch of teenagers over. I've done it many times with Adam. We've done it's kind of like a technology sort of training where I kind of am the good guy talking about how to heal from your social media. And Adam talks about, you know, essentially how his industry, or, you know, the idea is to keep you forever connected to your phones and forever scrolling and stuff, you know. So it's kind of the devil and the angel sort of joke. But anyway, I did it for this friend. She's been asking me for years to come do it. So I did it. So this is on my mind. And this article is super interesting because it's sort of following these girls and what they're experiencing. And so, you know, there's some things like we are doing an experiment without any controls to see what happens to all of us, to have an incredibly efficient, nonstop dopamine producing machine in our hands. We've never experienced this as a race, as a human kind, never. And so, but we're not, you know, it's just whoever's going to make money and make the best app. That's what we all do. So it's, you know, and people are studying the stuff sort of after effects, but this isn't oh boy, this isn't going well, we should stop. You know, no one's going to do that. Ooh, I sounded a little Minnesotan just then.
Oh, you did. It's starting to rub off. It's happening.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, don't you know? Okay, so that now, but here's the piece of evidence I was sort of getting to that is making me pause. So what they're finding is what girls are doing on weekends and socially that they've sort of never done before, even just a generation ago. Not even a generation ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that they're spending most of their times on weekends watching Netflix and scrolling through social media at the same time. It's very common behavior. And so what they're having all this social input that is essentially incredibly foreign to the brain. It's advertisement socializing, right? Where you are seeing just the fun and the, you know, and you're not actually actively navigating anything. You're just observing. You may be participating, of course, you're writing or you're, you know, interacting, but it's via text. So you're some of the skills that are developed from everyone going outside and playing kick the can are impossible to develop sitting by yourself on a couch. Because you don't have to read facial cues. You're guessing what words mean, you know? So it's just a whole different set of skills and, you know, strategies. And so what's happening, and they've interviewed all these girls, what's happening is they're having kind of two experiences. One is that they're more isolated. They're the loneliest group. There's tons of loneliness studies now, like talk about the new thing to talk about. Anyway, and just, you know, really struggling with not feeling lonely or feeling good enough and not having sort of those interactions that, you know, build who they are, or experiences that are building who they are. They tend to stay home. They tend to be best friends with their moms. They tend to, you know, really focus on studies, but feel pretty anxious, right? That can be really common. And what's maybe happening, and then I'm going to share this statistic. What's maybe happening is it's not that the thing they're doing is as harmful as what they're not doing, right? So what happens is, take, for example, you give a 16-year-old gets their license, they and their friends go somewhere, they are literally on camera, their parents can watch them, can be found at any second, any problem they encounter, all they have to do is ring somebody who will fix it for them. you got 12 parents ready to jump in at any moment because this is a dangerous activity, right? So what they don't get is any kind of solving, strategizing. Yeah, and friends figuring out together, hilarious memories, by the way. Like all of the good stuff that can come from that, because, sort of parents are at the ready. And so they're not going to try to struggle. They're going to make the phone call, right?
Just a more intense version of helicoptering, would you say, or no?
I would say, and it's no parent thinks that's what they're doing because it isn't as obvious as like, have you done your homework? And here, hand me your paper. Like you're not active, you're just making sure they're physically safe. So when we were there, just whatever, this last weekend, Mark and his wife had an app that showed their front door at all times. And their 35-year-old daughter was taking care of the dog and some stuff. People came to the house and they're dying to know what's going on. And I'm like, what the freak is happening? She is 35. Like
wow.
She has her own home. She's just taking care of your dog.
She's probably got this. She doesn't need you guys keeping an eye on her.
It's insane. But if you think about what that message is, at 35, she's probably fine because she's developed a sense of herself. But when you're not 35, the message is, you don't got this. I got this. And so anyway, here's the statistic that's kind of kicking me in the teeth. I'm having a hard time with this. So the college of, let me make sure I'm saying the right place. Hold on, I was absentmindedly hitting my thumb on my phone, so I lost it. Okay. So a 2019 survey by the Pew Research Center found that 36% of girls report being extremely anxious every day. Extremely.
Wow.
That is 1 in every 3.
How do they know what the scale is, though? If you're the girl, how do you know when someone says on a scale from whatever?
They give you the scale.
Okay.
And they measure this stuff, right? Okay. So then they sort of, that's going to lead to more being more risk averse, et cetera. Okay. So here's where, this is it. So this research is from the University of Michigan's Monitoring the Future project. Showing that all the girls, everyone has cell phones. 95% of teenagers have access to smartphones. Okay, so this is one thing that is clear. We know they all have a thing, right? That they didn't have before. And not everyone is affected in the same way. You still have 2 out of 3 girls who are not extremely anxious, right? So it's hard to know what is causing what exactly. But 72% of the teens surveyed said they felt manipulated by tech companies into remaining constantly connected. So in their brains, they have this sense that they can't stop, that someone has created this thing that they can't stop. 72% of kids, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Think about when you were a kid. Did you think anyone was manipulating anything?
No.
No,
No,
and they probably were. So were your teachers or your parents or something.
I just knew that there were probably snakes up there, and I wanted to go find one and bring it home. Like that's all I wanted to do is those kinds of things. And there was no, man, I never really thought about this, but there was never any kind of, now, where are you going to get snakes? You can't go get snakes. Only I can go with, like, that doesn't happen. You just go
or
get
bring only back the purple snake because I won't be happy otherwise.
Right.
Whatever.
And none of that was a thing ever. Yeah. Growing
and
up.
here's where the messaging, and this is where I'm not just blaming smartphones. This isn't like I'm a Luddite and I just know we should throw it all away. It's amazing technology and, helpful in so many ways, but it's the stuff that isn't getting done because of it that I think is concerning. So here's the stat. I finally found it. Sorry. Because really the resulting is navigating real life, or as the internet would call it, adulting, is incredibly difficult for people, more so than I think in any other generation. It can't just be that we're saying it out loud. I mean, everyone I knew, my generation and prior, they couldn't wait to get the hell out of home, at their house, to have freedom, to have the chance, et cetera, to explore the world. And they did. No one wanted to stay. It wasn't comfortable.
No, and they didn't. It's not that they hated their family or didn't like their parents or any of that.
They
it was
wanted
just
to be on their own.
Yeah, I was stoked about that. My oldest daughter was stoked. I never once went, "Oh, she doesn't love us anymore." It didn't work that way.
Right.
She was just ready to go.
No,
man.
and I think it isn't necessarily about the family. It's about safety, right? I think that's the thing. Is that safe? The only safe place, because if we're feeling anxious, again, remember the brain is. We're all meant to be afraid. That's what keeps us alive. But when it gets hijacked, so if you think about what your phone is producing and social media is producing, it's producing dopamine, and then it produces oxytocin. It definitely doesn't do that.
I found a new supply.
But all of these sort of neurotransmitters that mimic certain things that happen in real life, but you're getting them at any moment of the day in whatever dosage that you want. But you ask most people, how do you feel afterwards? What happens when you've scrolled on your phone all morning and you haven't done anything the rest of the day? Are you feeling good about yourself? No, but do you know the nuances of what somebody wore to the VMA Awards? I mean, you know what I mean?
Right. Now I know that sandwich that Bill ate and how amazing it was.
Right, exactly. So you end up having serotonin sort of dipping and all sorts of mood responses to that you maybe people aren't connecting to that experience. But here we are, young brains have never had any other experience than this, and they're kind of hanging out. So this is where the numbers get me a little concerned, because if you say, oh, it's just now we talk about it. So in 2011, the American College Health Association reported that 32% of female freshmen said they had experienced overwhelming anxiety or panic attacks in their freshman year. So again, you have 1 in every, 3 women as freshmen are overwhelmed with anxiety or having panic attacks. 2016, so 5 years later, just 5, that shot up to 62%.
Wow.
So explain that to me. That can't simply be, well, now we talk about anxiety and now we diagnose it. I mean, you've doubled the percentage of freshmen who are ill-prepared to go to college. And then the article goes on and talks about young girls, what the conversations they're having these days. And you might think, oh, it's about what should we wear for the prom? No, those conversations are not what they're having. It's friends who are cutting themselves, or a friend with an OCD, or, I'm so depressed. So I asked my son, he's 14. I said, so what are kids talking about these days? And he's like, well, Mom, I've been meaning to tell you this, but I think it's because you're a therapist. People come to me to talk to me about stuff. I said, dude, that has nothing to do with me being a therapist. It has everything to with you being open and pretty stable. And he's like, oh, okay. And I said, all right, so what are they talking about? Because I'm thinking, I'm nervous about a class or whatever. And he's like, well, there's a whole lot of conversations about climate change. I'm like, okay. And how baby boomers have set the game and they're leaving in 15 minutes and we have to deal with the crap. I'm like, okay. And he said, and then just feeling incredibly depressed or incredibly anxious or terrified of their future careers. I'm like, what? Doesn't anyone feel a little nervous about driving? Or, and it's not. That's not what they're thinking about.
This is super interesting. Like, let's say it is truly at epidemic sort of levels now, or I don't know if that's the right word, epidemic, but
probably not epidemic, but probably peak.
Let's say
95% of them have access to a neurotransmitter machine. That's a lot.
Right. And when you were in town, we sat and talked. In fact, I think someone got a picture of it. We were sitting and talking in the living room, and I was wearing a stupid hat, and we got talking about the time that what I've noticed about phone stuff, Twitter stuff, social media in particular, that I mean, if anyone's being honest with themselves, then I guess they would say so. But there are a lot of people who sort of deny this or fight this or whatever. But I can tell there's a tug, there's a pull. It's a weird thing, and that it makes me anxious. I can tell. And in my case, it's, I put that cartoon up last night, that comic. I wonder did I get any response? And I want to go look.
So that's what I was going to ask. Is that anxiety more about feeling like you need to keep up with the Twitter machine and say, I have kind of a quote I need to kind of tweet regularly because I've kept up this momentum. If I stop, people are going to think I've dropped off the face of the earth? Or is it reactions to stuff you've tweeted and that one didn't get any reaction? What's going on?
Probably at different times it was the first thing you said, and other times the second thing you said. But in particular, these days it seems like it's like, I like to think I don't want this or need this, but sometimes it's for validation. So I'll post, like I said, I'll post that comic and I'll go on there and say, oh, look, 150 people with great comments about how they loved it. But there's that one guy, And then I got anxiety about the one guy. So
Right,
then I'm like,
right, the
well,
one-
he's probably just being flippant and doesn't care anyway. And why am I even bothering? But
Right.
now I send
He
him a private.
He put way less stock in it than you did.
Right.
you know,
So then I
as
sent him a
like-
private message and go, dude, what's the matter? How come you don't like I find myself going down that path sometimes. This is something that never existed in my life before 2007 or so. And
Yeah.
and I definitely feel like there was an uptick of suddenly I've got a lot more people to please than I did in my normal boring life. You know what I mean? Not boring life, but
No, it's like a drug that you get your first taste of, like, oh man, that got a lot of retweets and a lot of likes. That's awesome. I'm going to do another one. Oh, I didn't get any retweets or likes on this. Okay, well, I'll do another one. That'll totally be, I'll get my hit from that one. And I get it because I do the same thing.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
And when I was with all these teenagers, I had them. I know they all like go to camps, and they're offline for maybe a week in their life. And I asked, I had them raise their hands who had gone at least a couple days up to a week in nature with no technology, and quite a few of them raised their hands. And I just said, just start to talk about what that was like. And it is heart-wrenching to watch their faces as they describe that they felt peace for the first time. They felt calm. They felt like they could explore other things, that they were likable. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have we done? So the hard part is, I don't know the solutions to any of this. I don't know how you fix this, but I do know there are some things, and it has to come from us. Unfortunately, like I was talking about the abundance stuff. I'm like, think about Spotify. You can listen to anything you want at any second. And I had my friend's husband was there, and I said, tell me how you used to get your country music, because he loved country music. How did you get that when you were a teenager? He's like, 2 things. I would go buy a CD at Sam Goody's, or I would sit around and listen to the radio and try to tape it
and hope that song would get played. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that the DJ wouldn't have talked over it. And I was like, and I'm looking at the kids, and they are having zero idea what I'm talking about. But that the no waiting, the access to everything. What that means is you have to restrict yourself for your own mental well-being, and everyone's going to be different. Here's the problem, though. Everybody thinks they're fine. But if you take 1 week off, and so this has been fun at home. Adam has taken Twitter. He has not done Twitter for about a week. And he says, because he started his new job, he doesn't have time. So when he looks at it for a second here or there, he's like, I don't get what we're all doing. Like, there's something that happens by having some space and coming back. You go, wait a minute, what? Why are we all mad about a thing? Like, it just stops. It's not as engaging.
Right.
Your perspective changes. And I think for teenagers they don't know who they are. Like, Scott, when you had your experience where it's the ramping up and the likes and the people talking to you and sort of all that stuff that happened around 2007 and upwards.
Yeah.
You already had a sense of self. And when you're 12 and 13,
and you're developing that,
it's really tricky.
Oh yeah. Having so many of the bricks of your foundation kind of built on social media and kind of that reliance on,
well, because it used to be relied upon to be in class and hope that note that girl passed that talked about you was nice, or if it wasn't, why wasn't it? Like, all of that, all those little drama pins and all of that stuff still existed. It's not like it wasn't there. It was just happening in this like slow motion, natural, you also had to face-to-face people sort of way. And now it's happening in this like there are going to be some people that hear this and think we're just old peopling about social media. We're not. We're just...
No, but back, our person-to-person live, face-to-face social media, you'd know exactly, usually, what the person meant by their comment, because you'd see their face, you'd hear their expression, you'd hear the tone in their voice about, oh, he's joking and kind of just giving me basically a verbal noogie. Whereas when they do it online, it's like, wow, does that guy really hate me?
Yeah.
Or are they just...
And we know nothing about them. We don't know their age. We don't know their name. We don't know their face. We don't know anything about them. And so it is different, whether people want to admit it or not. Now, the way I use Twitter these days, much more than I used to, is it's my way of... the way I think it was supposed to be envisioned in the first place, which is it's my way to interface with people I want to talk to. So fans can talk to me. I can talk to them. I can express stuff. I can say, hey, we did this thing. I'm much less concerned these days about 1 or 2 dingleberries. Who cares? Like, go do whatever you got to do. I'm not that interested. But it's a great way to interface with people. I don't think your average 12-year-old knows that. That's not what they're out for. They're out for, what does it even mean to say hi to that person that I wish I could say hi to? Oh, I can do it online because I don't have to really be there or do anything. But then when a real relationship comes up, they're not prepared. They can't do it. Like, it's stuff we haven't studied. We don't have any case data for this, right?
Right. And then on the flip side, which is intriguing but also concerning, is like they're also so smart and so capable and so much more, but partly because they're not having very long to be kids, right? They have to navigate a harder world. So, I mean, kids love memes, yay, but guess what? You don't get most memes unless you have a context for the earth is burning or Trump's an idiot, or, like you have the broader context to make a meme funny. And every kid has that context. So they're sort of taking in adult information at a record number, and we've never had that before. I mean, you remember, you're in school and the teacher's like, please, for the love of all that's holy, read a newspaper once. Can you guys get informed about something? And now I think the opposite needs to happen. Like, everybody stop. No more reading the news. We will talk about something in depth, nuanced in class. Like, quit reading snippets. So you just have a weird transitional time. I personally feel like I'm my generation specifically, because my kids are in the full blown, all the social media exists. And I don't know, you guys could talk about when your kids were younger. I don't know where the cutoff is, but raising natives, technology natives, when you are not. And it is like, parents are just bumbling over each other. Like, what are we doing? And we're also addicted. So it isn't like anyone has the upper hand here and can be the adult in the room. We're all just like, stop talking, I'm on my phone, So it's kind of this collective brainwashing that's going on. And it freaks me out sometimes. I have a hard time when I'm walking out to the car. We're buying a snake for freaking my son because don't even get me started. Anyway, and we're outside and there are 10 adults in their vehicles that I counted as I walked to my car, which is only 4 or 5 into the parking lot, all on their phones, staring down in their cars for a while. And wait, but I can do that and there's nothing wrong with it. But when I see 10 people doing it, something is wrong. You know what I mean? But there's something about all of us being so captivated and taken away all the time. So let me just throw something out. So, okay, complaining, blah, blah, blah. And for those who have only known this, you're like, okay, nice that you guys can talk about how great your childhoods were, but we don't have this option. And that is crappy. And I'm sorry for that. But it's also, you've got to have more skills in place than any other generation before, which is how to protect your mental health, how to protect your developing sense of self. So my first suggestion would be that you gather a community that can help you do that. So if you're living somewhere, so for example, last night, Abe's with a friend, his dad gives me a call. My stupid T-Mobile, bless you people, has screwed up my voicemail and they have to have engineers figuring it out. So if you call me, it will say that my phone is invalid. So this dad tries to call me to make sure I'm home while these teenagers are at my house. And it goes to the thing that says an invalid number. So he's sure his daughter's lying. I send him a text saying, I'm sorry, my phone is broken. I'm in the middle of working. I'll call you right back. He doesn't believe any of this because he shouldn't. It seems super, super fishy. Anyway, we finally connect and you could hear him just like almost apologizing that he's such a weirdo that he wants to make sure parents are home when teenagers are at a home. And I'm like, dude, you're not a weirdo. You're a good dad. And I'm with you. And maybe we should have a meeting. You know, like we all kind of feel alone trying to navigate this as our teenagers turn into monsters in front of us. You know, it's tricky. So anyway, find a community, gather people who, you know, maybe it's your kids' group of friends. You know those parents from your soccer whatevers. And you just have a deal where there's a whole Friday night or Saturday where all the phones are stacked up in the middle of someone's living room and those kids are just playing. And you get the kids to agree and you talk about, let's try, and they will get a taste of it. That's part of it, is you've got to have a taste of the freedom that comes from not being addicted to a thing. And it doesn't take a lot. You could go a couple days and but you can't go back into those patterns. So maybe it's a community effort kind of thing. And even for your own personal self or your family, and this goes for all the adults listening, because I think it's mainly adults listening. You're just as addicted. Let's all just be honest. If you are waking up in the morning and the first thing you do is touch your phone and 15, 20 minutes goes by, then you have a problem. You need to get up out of your bed, do your life, and then check your phone. So just start with that. So make a goal that every day, maybe you put your phone really far across the room, or you don't have it in there at all and just buy an old-fashioned alarm clock. But just take one behavior that seems a little messed up and stop it. And then just see how it feels. So it could be something like that. It could be, we've had this day one, back when the old phones existed. We never answer the phone during dinner. It is 1 hour of sacred family time. No one ever can interrupt us. So my mother-in-law would try to call and we'd say, I don't care if you're dead. Sadly, we don't.
That's a good way to get to keep the mother-in-law from calling too. Oh, nope, sorry, dinner. No, I'm actually cooking dinner. That counts.
Totally. Cooking, it takes 3 hours. So don't
exactly.
But it may be that you just take a little space somewhere and you preserve it. So one thing I had these kids do, so they all had iPhones mostly, and I had them go to their settings, to their usage, and really look at what they were doing. And you could see their faces. Like one kid's like, oh my gosh, I've been on 6.5 hours today. And I was like, that's probably average. And you don't know it. You don't realize it. Then there's another little extra layer to go into, which tells you how many times you've touched your phone. Did you guys know that?
No, I didn't know that.
No. Good, because that's a big difference from just having it kind of on and in the background versus like actively scrolling through stuff. And
so it'll tell you what you're doing, education, social media.
Yours is probably really low because Wendy types with one finger, as I found out this week.
Yeah, I know. I have a problem.
Yes.
But then what it does, it gives you your average. So how many times you picked it up today, since the first time is 7 a.m., the last time is whatever, it's about 5 an hour, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I had these kids just look through their data. Like, if we're going to have data, let's use it. And then how does it make you feel? And think about, you say you don't have any time. Well, look at all the time. So it's just good to have that reality check, I think. But then the other thing you have on here is you can set some limits. It's just app limits, downtime. You look at the link for downtime, schedule downtime, and you just every day, if you do not have your phone on whatever mute in the night, you need help.
Oh yeah, you're insane if you're not doing that. You got to do that.
Private, you have to protect yourself.
Yeah, go to bed.
I'm not saying never use this stuff again.
Of course.
Because it's valuable. But if you felt like you were in control, so 72% of kids feel manipulated. What if 72% of kids felt like they were in control?
Right.
And they still used it? I mean, something's got to give at some point. I feel like this is... I'm also a crazy person standing on a hill going, here's a problem, and no one else agrees with me.
I think, if people are being honest with themselves, even, I can't speak for Samsung or a million other Android makers and stuff, but I liked when Steve Cook, sorry, I've got Steve, Steve mixed up with my Tim. Tim Cook got up at an Apple thing, two things, yeah. And he got up and he said, we know that you guys are using your phones a lot more than maybe you need to. Like, he's basically saying, quit using this thing that we want to sell you every year.
That we made way addictive.
Yeah. So they added a bunch of features, like we're going to show you where you're spending all your time, so you can adjust your habits. You can set limits for yourselves more easily on the base OS level. Now, whether that stuff's been successful or not, I don't know. But even then, even when the companies who profit the most from your overuse of a product are saying, maybe back off a little, maybe don't use it so much, that's a sign of something. And so I think if people are being honest with themselves, I'm not saying we're all raging addicts, but I'll tell you what, putting my phone down and drawing with your kids for 3 hours was delightful, because it was pen, it was paper, it was drawing Star Wars stuff, which everyone loves. They're really good, by the way. Yeah. We're interacting. We're talking about how we're doing. How's everybody doing? Pete gets distracted, but in a good, creative way. Like, it was a really fun thing. Now, that's a 14-year-old down to a 7-year-old. I realize you're not going to get your average 17-year-old high school, thinks he's got everything figured out kind of thing, to sit down and do stuff like this. That gets harder. I get it. But do the best you can with that stuff and just try to just peel it away. Go away and do another thing. I think Brian's really good at this. I'm going to a concert. Me and crazy neighbors are going to go to this restaurant we love. Like you're moving out of there and you're not taking your phone. And I know it because I'll text him and say, hey, what's that thing for tomorrow we're doing? And I don't hear from Brian for 3 hours. And it's okay. I know that he's not riveted to his phone, and it's a healthy thing not to be riveted to your phone all the time. And I'm kind of talking to myself here, so it's me too.
Really quick, you give a great example, Brian. You have taught people how to treat you on social media. Everyone will just respect it if you show them.
I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, I got a life, people, and it's really true. It's very.
I was blown away. This last week I went to a concert, and all right, so maybe the performer we were seeing probably targets an older audience than 5 Seconds of Summer or 21 Pilots or something like that. It was Brian Ferry of Roxy Music, but there were points that I made a note to look around the audience, and I saw 2 people who had their phones up who were recording the concert. And usually, like Fleetwood Mac, if another old targeted concert really, but you look at a lot of these other concerts and more people are sitting there with their phones up recording the concert than actually like looking at the concert with their eyes. And I was amazed to see how few people at this concert were recording it on their phones or even taking pictures. I even took a few pictures, put my phone away and enjoy the rest of the show. But I can't tell you the last time that I've seen that few people with their phones out during a concert. It was weird.
In the moment. I mean, and that's kind of it's got to be a choice. So there's like a collective part to this and an individual choice that like you just sort of have to own your life back and you have to experiment. I mean, that's the thing. I think that if I say one thing on this show, I say it this: just experiment. Just try it. See what it tastes like to have a week free of Instagram, if that's the thing you go to. So I've had a lot of people do this. Calm is my favorite meditation app. And it's blue. And if you're addicted to Facebook, you oldie, then I have you remove your Facebook badge and put the Calm one in the same spot because we have muscle memory. So we would open our phones and like a tick,
always tap in the same place. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
So you put a meditation app and suddenly you've broken your Facebook habit. You probably haven't meditated because it will break it pretty quick if you don't want to meditate. But if you do, it's a great alternative to scrolling on people's dumb lives, And so like this also happened. I'm in the airport. I'm leaving Utah and I run into some people I haven't seen in a long time, but I see them on Instagram. So I know a little bit about their lives. In fact, I know probably too much about their lives. She says to me, like, I don't even know where you live now. And I was like, oh, I'm so done with following you. Like it was this moment of like, oh, not real. And it's not like I don't know that. I know that. But to have someone to my face have no idea what I'm doing, like I live in America again. She knew I lived in Sweden, but that was it. That was the last time she knew. And I was like, oh, okay, we're done. I don't want to know about your dumb girls preschool meeting. You know what I mean? Like right. And it was this little moment of like, take care of myself, not to be vindictive or weird or anything, but just that's not a real friendship. And it's clear. And I don't really care about what she's doing in her life. I thought it was mutual. It's not. So just face reality. And so, yeah, I got rid of her. But that's stupid. But for me, that just felt good. So what feels good? Experiment. Think of different things that, like a great technique is to go to somebody's Twitter feed or somebody's Facebook or Instagram and check your gut. Are you feeling jealous? Are you feeling gross? Are you feeling angry? Do you feel rage? What do you feel? If it's not calm and happy for their success, then get rid of it for 1 week and see what happens.
Interesting.
Or all of it all together. So what we're doing is we're denying how things are affecting us, and we just keep going. It's like drugs in that regard, right? So I had a hangover. Oh, well, I'm going to do it again because I love how it feels. Yeah. So instead, it's like tune into how this is actually making you feel and make some big adjustments or minor adjustments and just note, what does it feel like a week later?
I like it. We're going to get tons of feedback about this, but if you were on the fence and you don't know if you should, the morningstream@gmail.com. Tell us what you think. What have you tried? Have you found any success in this? Do you think we're up in the night? We'll take all comers. I would love to hear a follow-up on this because it's a thing, man. It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy, this is awesome. Anything else going on this week that we should mention from you? You got any kind of cool things to back? I guess you were just in Utah.
It's the Minnesota State Fair, everybody. So
Yeah.
get your tickets. Come on over. It's the great get-together.
Yeah.
Go get your deep fried
Bacon.
Twinkie on a stick.
Yeah,
Mhm.
bacon on a stick this year. I'm just doing fried pickles all day, all night.
Oh, that sounds so good right now.
I do like fried pickles.
And I'm gonna go see the butter sculptures of the local rodeo queens. It's gonna be amazing.
I've heard that you can only judge a butter sculpture by whether it is actual solid butter or if they've got a structure underneath that they have packed butter on top of. That's what I've heard.
Controversy. I don't
Yeah,
know.
make sure you ask them.
Yeah.
Do you have is there underlayment going on in that butter sculpture?
Yeah, how much underlayment is in this butter sculpture? I demand to know.
I'll ask. I will find out.
All right. Well, let us know. It was great seeing you. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye.
We were talking about like seeing Tiffany at the fair.
Yeah.
I haven't even talked about this weekend. We're gonna go see Casey and the Sunshine Band, Kool and the Gang, and Grand Funk Railroad.
Awesome.
At the Taste of Colorado.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
That's
know
gonna
you were
be
going to
awesome.
do that. Look at you with the retro business.
Oh man, the next day, or no, I guess Monday, on Labor Day, we've got Scott Stapp, voice of Creed, is how he's labeled. Toad the Wet Sprocket, Taylor Dane, and the Freddie Jones Band.
Oh my lord, that sounds like a riot.
I think I'm more, aside from Toad the Wet Sprocket, I think I'm more excited about Casey, Kool, and Grand Funk.
Yeah, I think those would be the ones I'd want to see as well. But
I'm gonna do a little dance, make a little love, and get down tonight.
nice.
Just like a Saturday night at Ibbot's house.
That's right. Hey, tomorrow we'll be back for TMS PM. Also tomorrow, Coverville doing the Guess the Connection show tomorrow. What times that usually happen?
That's right. 1 p.m. Mountain Time at twitch.tv/Coverville.
Nice.
Win a prize.
I have a big question tomorrow's show. It will be after you're done with that. When we do TMS PM, I will be asking the question: how much kimchi is too much kimchi?
Oh, are you looking for is this going to be a percentage?
I don't know. How about
like a
percentage of meal? Let's say that.
Okay, all right. Quantity per day. Oh, there's a lot of ways to answer this. I can't wait.
Actually, it's probably a combo of those things because right now I'm addicted and I can't stop eating kimchi. So we'll talk about it. It's been great on my guts, though. I love it. Anyway, more on that tomorrow. And again, 1 p.m. for Coverville's Guess the Connection. That'll be at coverville.com/live. Is that where you do it still? Or are you just doing it /Coverville on Twitch? I forget.
I do twitch.tv/Coverville. I think Coverville coverville.live or coverville.com/live still redirects there, but
oh, good.
Why? Let's take the middleman out. You all know twitch.tv/Coverville. That's easy enough.
Yeah, easy enough. Let's see. Where does it take me if I go there? I'm just curious.
Yeah, see where.
It's your Coverthon.
Oh, that's coverville.com/live.
Yeah,
just does the cover.
Yeah, it does have your embedded Twitch though, so I guess it would work.
So it would. Yeah, there you go. So twitch.tv/Coverville.
There you go.
Easy enough.
Then what else? Tonight, Current Geek with Tom and I. He's back, and we're doing it usually Tuesdays, but tonight we're doing it because of his travel. And what else is today? Frog Pants Plays may happen. Depends on how quick I can get a meeting over with in the next hour. It may be late when that starts, so I'll let you guys know on that.
I now have these all charged up and connected to my PS4, my Move motion sticks. And I kind of, as much as I'm excited to try my No Man's Sky, this is finally the all I needed to finally deal with some Beat Saber. Finally get
Beat Saber's so good. I love Beat Saber. I love Beat Saber. I have that on mine as well. It's so good. You'll love it. You'll love it.
I can't wait.
You have to tell me if you can buy. I wonder if the PlayStation VR version lets you buy a bunch of new tracks or not. Because
I know it lets you buy, because when I was looking at it, you can buy for $29.99 the game. For $39 you get Imagine Dragons, like about 12 Imagine Dragons songs.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know they had that deal. Well,
Yeah.
I love the music that's in there.
Radioactive.
They got some Utah connection. I forget what it is. That band. Maybe they met in Provo,
I
something
think
like that.
one of the members is from Utah, isn't he?
Maybe that's it. Maybe somebody went to BYU or
I think
something.
there's some from Vegas and there's some maybe from The one from Utah?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
They spend all their time imagining dragons, which is really weird.
They do, exactly. How do they get anything done with all the dragon imagining that they do?
Imagine dragons. How do they work? All right. Hey, we're going to take our leave. Big thanks to everybody for supporting us at patreon.com/TMS. Please continue to do so. And if you haven't yet, consider it. That's patreon.com/TMS. We send lots of physical goods to you. How do I know that? Because our costs are really high on that, but we're happy to do it. Head on over there, patreon.com/TMS. It's the end of the month. Time to still squeeze one in if you haven't yet done so. Also, we're at frogpants.com/TMS. Our email, our Twitter accounts, all that stuff is there. And we thank you for listening this morning. Brian, let's get out of here with a song. Do you have one?
I do. Mark S. wrote in. By the way, there's a great Gilbert Gottfried clip out there where we were talking about him with that whole concert of the Juggalos. He's entrenched in this culture probably a lot more than we realize, because he identified himself as the Tortilla Man from Slipknot. There's like a new character in Slipknot whose face looks like a big tortilla. And Gilbert Gottfried says, "I'm the Tortilla Man from Slipknot." Anyway, I'll send you the clip. You can see if there's anything in there worth editing, trimming out for the show.
All right, I'm in.
Hey there, Goose and Fury, says Mark S. On August the 28th, I'm turning the ripe old age of 43. I'm a big fan of the metal covers done by Disturbed, Powerman 5000, and the like. To celebrate the only August holiday, could you play a hard-rocking, head-bobbing, toe-tapping, sing-along song to get my blood pumping? If you can't settle on anything that epic, I'll settle for a tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch instead.
Shit. Hold on. Cheddar. Got it.
The tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch.
That was pretty fast.
That was really good. Well done. And we didn't get like 8 clips of other things beforehand. Thanks, guys. Hope your August 20th holiday was as awesome as mine. And while you're at it, go ahead and take that day off. Signed, Mark S. from Kohler, Wisconsin. Well, it was yesterday. Hope you had a great birthday, Mark. Had a lot of stuff, actually. Still do have a lot of stuff that was scheduled for the 20th. A lot of people having birthdays and things like that. But we're getting yours a day late. Hope you still enjoy it. You mentioned Powerman 5000. I like Powerman 5000 as well. And on their 2011 album, Copies, Clones, and Replicants, they do this cover of INXS's Devil Inside. That does rock. Here is Powerman 5000 and Devil Inside.
We'll see you guys on the other side. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Gilbert Gottfrieds.
Gilbert Gottfrieds.
Gottfrieds.
Perfect thing to have at the end of the show, I would say.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to now start this is my new, the way I do this now. Hold on.